Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at Tout, commencé, ainsi,
Yeah.
a set of verses.
Mm-hmm.
And they really dig into this shift, from trust to mistrust, losing someone you confide in.
Right. And this feeling that everything kicked off from one specific moment,
Yeah.
often tied to a song or like the weather, rain, storms.
Exactly. So our mission, if you will, is to kind of unpack that emotional journey. What
Mhm.
triggers these big changes? And maybe, think about how we sometimes feel those foundations shift in our own lives, even metaphorically.
Well, the first thing that jumps out, I think, is that movement from needing a confidant to, well, pushing them away.
Yeah.
You see the lines, maintenant je ne suis plus confiant, now I'm no longer confident, and then je n'ai plus besoin de confident, I no longer need a confidant. It's a real change.
It feels quite abrupt, doesn't it?
It does, and it's not passive. The line, j'ai appris à être méfiant, I have learned to be suspicious. Well, that suggests it was a conscious process, maybe even a painful one.
Like learning a hard lesson.
Exactly, learning mistrust. And this is happening within what the text calls a climat de trahison, a climate of betrayal. Makes you think what kind of experiences would force you into that guarded place.
Yeah, it makes you reflect. Have you ever felt that yourself? Where suspicion wasn't your default, but you sort of learned it.
It's a heavy thought.
And then there's this really potent idea about where it all began. Je crois que tout est né d'une chanson. I believe everything was born from a song.
Like a specific soundtrack marking the turning point.
Right. And it's not just the song, it's the whole atmosphere. You get these sensory details, un soir de pluie, a rainy evening, une nuit d'orage, a stormy night.
Even that really vivid line, il pleuvait, il ventait, il tonnait, et ça s'éclairait. It rained, it was windy, it thundered, there was lightning. It's so immersive.
Almost cinematic.
Yeah.
But then there's this contrast, isn't there? With a quiet loss on a matin détendu, a relaxed morning, where the line is, je t'ai perdu. I lost you again.
Mm-hmm. That contrast is interesting. It does make you wonder, about your own memories. Are there specific songs or even types of weather that feel locked into significant moments for you?
Yeah, like anchors.
That connection between the outside world, the senses, and the internal shift is, well, it's fascinating. It means these weren't just thoughts. They were deeply felt, experiences burned into memory.
And following that, there seems to be a turning inward, a pulling back.
Definitely. You see it in lines like plus bon désir de te chercher, no more desire to look for you, and plus aucune envie de te trouver, no more desire to find you.
A real shutting down of that seeking impulse.
Yeah. And the speaker talks about feeling mouillé, wet, and dépouillé, stripped bare, even though these are things they now want to avoid. It's complex.
And intense, too, right?
Yeah.
With the line, j'ai palpité, I throbbed, linked to l'effet des montées, the effect of the highs or surges.
Right. These weren't just quiet feelings. They were intense, almost physical, emotional surges. It makes you consider the lasting impact of that kind of intensity.
For sure. It's not described as gentle at all, which maybe leads into this next part. The feeling of things being unresolved.
I think so. That line, ceci est toute une vie inachevée, this is a whole unfinished life. It just hangs there.
Oh, yeah.
And then the question, combien en devrais-je encore jouer de gagner le paradis? How many more must I play to win paradise?
Playing, like a role. Or enduring something.
It could be either, couldn't it? Like maybe life feels like a performance or just a long game you have to keep playing to get some kind of peace.
And those direct questions, too. Où m'as-tu taché? Where did you stain me?
Oof, yeah. And laquelle de ces faces m'as-tu caché? Which of these faces did you hide from me?
They sound so wounded, pointing right back at the past, demanding answers that maybe aren't there.
Exactly. That sense of being stained or having faces hidden from you, it suggests a really deep sense of, betrayal. Or maybe just realizing you never truly knew someone or something.
And it connects back to the beginning almost, the idea that tout a commencé un soir récurrent. Everything began on a recurring evening.
That's key, isn't it? It suggests this isn't just one bad memory, but maybe a pattern. Something that feels like it keeps happening or a feeling that keeps coming back.
A cycle, leading to that really stark final state.
Yeah, the end is powerful. Ici tout est soir, ici tout est noir, ici tout est tard. Here everything is evening, here everything is black, here everything is late.
It paints such a bleak picture. Total disillusionment.
But then there's that very last phrase. Ici il me tarde de croire. Here I long to believe.
So even in all that darkness,
there's still that flicker, right? A longing for belief, for something more, even when everything feels late and dark.
So looking back at Tout, commencé, ainsi, it really maps out this intense journey from trust through this painful learning of mistrust, marked by these vivid moments.
Tied off into songs and weather, yeah. And it leaves you with this heavy sense of things unfinished, unresolved questions, but also maybe that tiny persistent desire to believe again.
It really makes you think. Consider those big emotional shifts in your own life. Do specific songs or certain kinds of weather bring those moments right back? What recurring evenings, maybe not literal ones, might hold clues about how your own sense of trust or confidence has changed over time? Something to ponder. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.